Hey guys, Bad Infos here, and these are the 10 best cutscenes in GTA 4. I gotta say, making this list was very hard. Originally I had 28 picks. All of them were amazing. Unfortunately I had to shorten it a lot. Many amazing cutscenes were left out, but that's how it is. The list is opinion based of course, and if you disagree, let me know what your list looks like. So, without further ado, let's begin with the cutscenes. We begin with Payback for Jimmy Pegorino. Jimmy is known to be the wannabe boss mob with a very big ego. He's also known to be surrounded by incompetent idiots who just want to please him. Well, Anthony is one of those guys, and his incompetence is shown very well in this cutscene. It starts off with Niko meeting Jimmy's wife for the second time, who is not pleased with Niko's actions.
Pick a swell guy to kill. Hopefully someone with a young family who really miss him.
In a way, she's right. Niko is a killer and many people lost family members because of him. And when Niko enters the house, this is when the best part starts. Anthony, the bodyguard of the supposedly biggest boss mob, is sleeping on the job. Yeah, even after all the screaming from Jimmy's wife outside, only after Niko claps his hands and calls him by name, he wakes up.
Hey! Hey! Is Mr. Pegorino around?
But it doesn't end there. He's so lazy that he just screams instead of getting up to call Jimmy.
Boss! Anthony, will you shut up? In fact, will you fuck off?
At this point, I don't even know what he's doing there. And lastly, to finish it off, he slams the desk.
That's real hard! Capiche?
Yeah, capiche.
Thank you.
The first encounter cutscene with Marnie. Marnie, being one of my favorite voice actors in the game, deserved a spot on the list. This is a cutscene showing the real life struggles of some people. Some fall so low that they end up selling their body, time and soul to drugs. They would do anything for a snort, drag or another needle. Well, Marnie is that someone. She's a broken person and would give anything for some junk.
I'll fuck you for $5.
No! What's wrong with you?
I need junk.
We saw Niko's true character here. In the game he's depicted as the badass hitman who loses his temper and kills anyone who stands in his way. Well, here he cares about a strange young woman he meets in the park.
You shouldn't be fucking strange men for money. I'll give you some money.
The closing cutscene of the mission Weekend at Florian's for Ray. Niko came to Liberty City to find someone.
10 years. I've been searching for the other two.
After weeks, possibly even months of searching, finally got a lead on the whereabouts of that special someone. And boy oh boy, how special he turned out to be.
And I'm in love. He's married.
First of all, when he arrives at the location, he's filled with rage, knowing that his quest has come to an end. Well, is it? Nope. He did not find the Florian he once knew. He found Bernie, who has changed a lot. Both Roman and Niko are taken back by this. Both of them did not expect it. Bernie himself also had his doubts about Niko, thinking that he did all these terrible things back in the day. Well, with a few scares, fat jokes and some voice changes, they're all happy little friends at the end.
It's great to see you guys. We must do brunch.
The second encounter with
Eddie Lowe, the animal masturbator.
the absolutely weirdest character in the whole game, possibly even in the whole franchise. We meet him again in a dark alley late at night, because of course you would. He's mentally ill, as you guessed, and treats Niko as a friend. Well, he doesn't know how to communicate well and asks some really fucked up questions.
Quite naughty. Do you like to get spanked?
Niko does not like what he heard.
I like to get spanked.
Fuck off. You're creeping me out.
That would be true to anyone, I guess. Would you answer this question to a random weird guy who you met late at night in a dark alley? Yeah, I didn't think so. I love how Eddie turned from friendly to a bloody thirsty maniac in a matter of 20 seconds.
And he's ripped out her intestines just to see
if he could feel anything.
Lastly, this wonderful jump at the end seals the greatness of this cutscene.
Come here!
Out of the closet for Brucey! Ah, Brucey, you simply cannot have a top 10 video and not include him in. He's at it again, acting all strong and intimidating.
Hit me, come on!
Well, one punch by Niko and he's all curled up, probably crying inside.
Niko.
That's not why this cutscene is here though. Not only Brucey's manliness is lessened,
Okay, who is she?
That's the thing, it's a guy.
Fuck you.
it's also Niko's. Niko has to kill a gay guy and the only way he can see him is to act gay himself. Well, he does not like the idea. It's the way the dialogue is presented that makes this cutscene so funny. Jokes after jokes after jokes.
You got to be kidding me.
I knew we should have made him a giver, not a taker, Brucey.
Oh, shut up!
GTA 4 is devoid of humor for the most part, and this cutscene serves as a nice divider to it. It's here to lighten the mood, and is easily the funniest one in the entire game.
Nicky! Shit.
Rigged to blow for Mikhail Faustin. From the funniest, we go to most likely the saddest and most serious cutscene in the game. Here we see Niko visiting the house of Mikhail. After Elena invites Niko in, they have the strongest and most impactful dialogue in the game. We hear about what it's like being in a war. We see how cruel the world can be, and Niko does a great job explaining it.
And you see 50 children, all sitting neatly in a row against the church wall, each with their throats cut and their hands chopped off.
I'm sure that many of you viewers, myself included, cannot really grasp how it is out there, but it truly must be horrific, and we can finally see what Niko has been through before coming to Liberty City. His character development went through the roof here, and this cutscene made me instantly fall in love with his persona. We know Faustin as a stupid, loudmouth prick who only knows how to hurt people.
He knows too much. You, get him.
But after Elena's words here, we see that it has not always been like that. He was once a loving man who cared about his family. Later in the same cutscene we see how time has changed him. And that's what this cutscene is all about. It shows how power and time can change a nation or a single person so much. It serves as a warning about what not to do, or you would end up like Mikhail.
What is that? I tell you one thing and you ignore me! You stupid bitch!
Shadow for little Jacob. If there's one thing I love, it's thick accents. Well, who has the best accent in the game? Niko?
What are you doing in the dumpster, man?
Mallory?
Why don't you come and meet me at the community center later on?
Jacob?
I promise I'll come to a fool on Niko.
Well, yeah, but I'm actually talking about Boman. Single-handedly the most underrated and underused character in the game. He has appeared only 3 times and every time he cracks me up. Despite the fact that I don't understand 90% of what he's actually saying.
Boy, them dip on the corner, me say the boy, them other things on my corner, that and thing, and me say every corner on my corner, and thing, I'm gonna write that to the boy, them go on and
The
say,
cutscene starts with Boman knocking Niko on the ground, not knowing who he is. Well, after a small chat with Jacob, they become best buddies. Boman even apologizes. A great detail here is how understandable Niko is. He forgives and understands why some things need to happen. Well, later on, Boman loses it and starts talking really quick. Niko, not being a native English speaker, does not understand a word, and the face he makes is priceless. I can completely relate to him. And then the most unexpected thing happens. Jacob actually translates what Boman just said. That's something unheard of because Niko has had trouble understanding him in previous encounters.
What?
It gives me a nice homey vibe. 3 friends watching TV, smoking weed, knocking each other on the floor and having a good time. Just like the good old days before the internet. Another Ray mission taking the 3rd place. It's called Museum Piece. In GTA 4 we have a whole story involving diamonds worth $2 million. They have been the thing everyone talks about throughout this story. We even saw them in the opening cutscene. Well, them costing $2 million has everyone on edge. Niko, being a busy guy taking care of so many things, does not have enough time to think about Ray's diamonds. And Ray does not like that. The cutscene opens with insults and gets heated. Ray is not happy with Niko and it goes the other way around too. They let it all out.
Are you fucking kidding me? No! I keep doing these favors for you and you pay shit!
Well, after some convincing, Ray finally asks the name of the guy Niko's after.
Fine, you got it. You want my word? You got my word. Good. Who is he?
This reaction right here makes this cutscene for me.
Florian fucking Kravitz? That's right!
If you play the game for the first time, you would not know what Ray is laughing at. But after you watch the cutscene, which I put in 8th place, everything is explained. This is a very powerful cutscene, with most likely the best voice acting in the entire game. We normally don't see Niko so angry and being so well spoken. I love how it goes from this...
Yeah, the pig thing with the little feathers on the,
to this.
So either you give me your word or go fuck yourself! I'm sick of this shit! Fine!
The death cutscene for the mission Mr. and Mrs. Bellic if you choose the deal ending. Why only this one? And not the same cutscene from the revenge ending. In the revenge one, Kate dies.
You fucking double-crossed immigrant shit!
And in the deal one, Roman dies. I have high respect and care a lot about Roman. He's one of my favorite characters. As for Kate, I don't give a single fuck for her. Then why is this better and not the other one? Well, the whole theme of this game is the darkness, betrayal and power. We see people we care about die, we hear dark stories from Niko's past, and the outcome of this cutscene is a perfect summary of everything that happened beforehand. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to see Roman die, but I believe that it fits with the theme of the game. We are left with a broken man whose whole life is ruined and whose fault all of this was. Niko would never live this down, especially after he finds out that Mallory and Roman had a baby in the oven. Again, like in previous cutscenes, I love how this one goes from cheerful, possibly the happiest cutscene in the game, to something horrific. We see all the characters who we care so much for, and with one single bullet, it's all over. The final cutscene in the game if you choose the deal ending. The mission is called Avengers Tragedy. Nothing pleases me more than seeing Dimitri suffer, not only die, but suffer and being barely able to breathe. The revenge ending did not give me that. You just put a bullet in his skull and you are done with it. Here, however, you have one of the most powerful dogs in the game. You finally meet him and can tell him everything you think about this rat, this scum.
You betrayed everyone who ever came in contact with you.
A great change of character here is Jacob. He has always been known to talk fast, about weed, killing and so on. Here, however, he was calm and I understood everything he just said.
I know. Let's go, man. It's over. You won.
This was one of, if not the best ending to a game I have ever played, and it's a perfect end to a perfect storyline. And these were the 10 best cutscenes in GTA 4 in my opinion. I would love to hear your opinion. Which ones do you like the most? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, and if you didn't, then a dislike is fine too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next top 10 video.